Yeah, thank you all for coming out in such great numbers to hear all about the elephant in the room. What is that elephant? What am I talking about? The elephant is, and actually, who was it? Kevin Wheeler's talk this morning? Can I see some show of hands? Quite a bunch of you? Okay, so for who wasn't there, what Kevin tried to explain very eloquently is that no matter the sector, no matter the industry, no matter the vertical, AI is creating digital workers. Why is this happening? Well, because for the first time in human history, it's actually becoming easier, more enjoyable, and more effective to talk to technology than it is to talk to a human being. I'm talking about things like the technology being infinitely patient, not forgetting anything, knowing practically everything, but also, and that's what I think is wild, exhibiting more empathy, having better situational judgment, which has been researched and posted about in Nature, of all places. And because of that, when you interact with technology, you can get done what you want to achieve usually much more easily. So we're in a very strange time where this is happening. The $650 billion SaaS industry, the software industry, is penetrating the knowledge worker industry, our industry. And where they meet, a peculiar thing happens. The software isn't supporting the worker, us, no, it's becoming the worker. Wherever these new technologies and our industries meet, an AI workforce is being created. And that's what Scotty is all about. Because let me take you down a trip down memory lane. We all remember chatbots. I still heard some people talk about chatbots these days, today, even Kevin. And I think we should dump that definition for what I'm talking about. Chatbots were a compromise. What do I mean by that? Horrible experience, correct? But extremely scalable and dirt cheap. So still widely adopted. Next, a very short time ago, came large language models, and they produced the first AI agents. And AI agents can have a fantastic conversation with you, to the point that people are starting to get relationships with them and marrying them and using them from psychological support. Friendships are being built with these AI agents. But you can't really handle what we're doing with a single AI agent, because they're very single task focused. And the other problem that they have is that they really want to please. They will always answer you, and that answer might not always be true. They might even fabricate entire sources, which is scary. It's dangerous, especially in our industry, correct? So what you need is multi-agent systems, and I'll dig into that a little bit more in a second. That's what we help businesses create, multi-agent systems. What will happen after that is unclear. There's a camp of people that say we'll have massive general agents that can do it all. I'm not in that camp. My co-founder and CTO, Reiner, isn't either, because it basically means that you would have to calculate the universe to pour a glass of water. It's not very efficient, not very good for energy. I'm in the camp where these agents become unrecognizable to us. They will break down tasks and activities that we are currently doing to almost a subatomic level. And in so-called, I didn't make these words up, swarms, which sounds scary, or soups, which sounds nasty. So I'm not a fan of either of these words. If anyone has a better one, please share. But they will try to complete tasks, simultaneously reinforcing the agents that do a good job and destroying the ones that aren't. Wherever that goes, our technology is architectured to support it. So to summarize, agents, great promise, can't really do much on their own. What you need are agents that speak with humans, like we do, via chat or phone or video call, any channel really, that also speak with each other in different technological languages, but that also operate within our existing IT ecosystems. One of the reasons that we still haven't nailed fully automating warehouses, you know why that is? Or there's still people in warehouses? Anyone have an idea? I'll make it interactive. Because they were designed for us. Kevin talked about humanoid robots this morning. Amazon is going to produce 200,000 of them this year. And there's a company called Figure One that's producing them. And obviously Elon Musk wants them at our home to do our laundry and cook, etc. We need them to automate our daily tasks because the world has been designed for us because we designed it. Same goes for AI agents in your processes. You have, very often legacy, IT systems, and you need to operate within them. That's what we built. I love to predict the future, but today I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to talk about the here and now, about today. We've developed a platform that allows you to design, to build, to test, and to deploy multi-agent systems that can automate end-to-end processes which would otherwise require human intervention. What end-to-end processes, you say? For example, everything we're doing. With Scotty AI, you can automate pretty much the entire hiring journey and what happens after that. From sourcing candidates, responding to applicants, screening and interviewing them, planning them with a hiring manager, giving the hiring manager a quick summary and brief about what to expect, or getting a hiring manager brief even earlier down the journey, sending an offer, chasing the offer down because they're not responding. Come on, I thought we had such a good conversation. Onboarding the candidate, managing their work life, their internal mobility, maybe they're ready for something else, planning them in, running absentee management. Oh, someone's sick, I need to put someone else in there. And offboarding, exit interviews. Who conducts them? If there's any of you, or do it managers, yeah? So usually, who do you do it for? Your top performers, right? But with AI, you don't have to choose between quantity and quality. It's so cheap, you can just have an exit interview with everyone. You can stay in touch with them automatically during the course of months, years, and then boomerang, bring them back automatically. No human needed. For the agencies in the room, you can use this exact type of approach to do sales. You can approach customers, you can have a discovery call, you can understand their needs, you can pitch a solution, you can offer a pricing, you can send the contract, you can onboard a customer, you can place a candidate at your customer, you can call the customer, how's the candidate performing? Oh, I looked at your career site, I see we have more roles open. Well, I see in the ATS that we have good candidates for that role. You can automate that too. And that's a thing that I think Kevin touched upon briefly, and which I touched upon early in this presentation. We're not talking about replacing recruitment work, we're talking about replacing cognitive work. So most of the roles you're hiring for, sales, engineering, procurement, finance, etc., those are also susceptible to exactly the same trend. In our industry, what I predicted, and I think I'll be right, I said this quite boldly 3 years ago and last year here, I predict that most sourcers, screeners, coordinators, HR administrators, interviewers, planners, schedulers, PAs will be automated by 2028. There's no reason from a cost point of view alone, and I liked how Kevin said this morning that most businesses will optimize for the most cost-effective model, which is this, but again, go back to the beginning of my presentation, I'll show this in a second. In a real-life case study, people actually enjoy interacting with these agents more than they enjoy interacting with human beings to get hired or to move a role, to discuss a promotion. But before I go there, I invite you all to bring out your phones, because this has been a lot of me sending and talking, but you should actually be talking to Scotty. Depending on your country code, you can do it in your own language. Sorry for the Serbians and Croatians, I didn't account for those. But we can hook you up. Yeah, I know. Big mistake. But Hungarian and Polish and German and English and Dutch and French and Spanish and Bulgarian, Romanian should be fine. You will open WhatsApp, you can send a message, and you will now be able to talk to Scotty from now until forever. The interesting thing that Scotty can do is this agent has been built on our platform for recruitment purpose. So you can talk about other stuff like contact center or banking, whatever. We'll try to pull you back about your recruitment challenges. Once you share your challenges, it will share solutions, which will be different for each and every one of you because you have different challenges, correct? You can then role play those challenges as well to get fully convinced that our AI can do at least 80% of good of a job as you can, which is more than enough for your CFO to consider just going that route, as Kevin so eloquently put as well. Does everyone have a conversation started? I'll then just continue, because unlike me, Scotty is now available for you forever. If you want to switch between phone calls and WhatsApps, just tell Scotty that you want to reset. You'll get the first message again, and then you can also choose a phone call. So you can show your partner at home, or your friends, or your colleagues, what you found at recruiTECH CEE. Let's dig into that case study, shall we? Because I promised you something from the here and now, not just fluffy stuff. Let me tell you about Actief Werkt, active work. It's a Dutch staffing agency with not that many people, 600 or so, but they employ 10,000 temp workers in the Netherlands alone. And then they also have a German and an Austrian branch. But we work with them in the Netherlands. They have 70 branches, and then they have 20 in-house branches, including Schiphol Airport, which probably some of you have passed through, considering how many people fly by. 25-year-old business. So, okay, this English. So they started using us recently, and some of the main reasons for them were the reason discussed today. You know, they wanted to be more efficient, they wanted to be more quick, they wanted to lower costs, they wanted to offer a better kind of experience. Basically, they wanted to make more placements with the same or less people while providing good experience. So they launched Abby. That's actually also cool about us. We're never called Scotty anywhere. Scotty is the name of the platform. I'm launching a sales agent on June 1st. I'm going to call her Sally. Play on words. But if you would use Scotty, you would call Scotty however you want to call Scotty. Abby at Actief Werkt is a first point of contact for any applicant that comes in. And an applicant will express to Abby, oh, no, I need to take a step back. These applicants don't apply to jobs anymore. Sounds weird, right? But they apply to function groups. Because what Actief Werkt realized after internal research, surveying their temp workers, that they don't really care that much what type of job you have for them. They care about pay, distance to work, shifts, type of company, big or small, very fast moving or chill. So Abby asks those questions on the phone call or in WhatsApp. I have data on that surprised me. And then it offers jobs. And then candidates can ask anything about that job. And since it's a staffing agency, they can ask anything about that employer too. And the more information the employer shares with the staffing agency, the more stuff Abby can tell about the employer. So she can really pitch the job. Then she can screen for the job. Sometimes someone isn't a fit because they lack a certificate or a skill or they aren't available at the right time of day. What do you think Abby does? Abby knows every job in the ATS. So if there's another role that Abby can offer, she does it automatically. Again, I bet if you're in-house or if you're agency, you would wish that your teams would do that or your colleagues. But most recruiters are so focused on the recs they're working that they don't even cross-sell across the table, let alone across department, country, or company or world. Doesn't happen. Abby does. The other big difference about how they've implemented Abby, which is something I'm a huge advocate of, is they didn't implement the technology. They introduced Abby to their workforce and their managers the way I did now, by having people speak with Abby and ask her about her. Because from the moment of implementation, they wanted to position Abby as a virtual colleague, or virtual recruiter. Not a bot, a colleague. Might get interesting in the future when AI starts demanding certain rights. But for now, they did it on purpose. The other big objective was response time. What they mean by profile scores is that who likes admin? ATS admin. How many of you have conversations that you wish you know you probably could have completed more fields in the ATS based on what you've learned, or probably written a bit more extensive summary, right? Or maybe tagged some people who this person might be relevant for, but hey, long day, quickly update the ATS or not update it. Abby updates the ATS 100% of the time. So that's what they wanted to improve. And then job satisfaction. This is an interesting one too. Actief Werkt has a philosophy that by removing most of the work that their employees are currently doing, they will enjoy their work more. Because they will be able to meet their targets in less time and spend more time doing the fun stuff. And I'll talk about the fun stuff later. So the first experiments that we did weren't great, to be honest. We launched with 2 small branches, and well, we learned that they get so few applications. And we launched with screening, top funnel screening, that basically people were waiting for the phone to ring or someone to come in. And then instead of being able to pick it up, the virtual colleague picked it up and then scheduled people in. But it kind of removed something from the job that they wanted to do. So we did quickly learn, okay, you need to focus on something where there's a lot of activities that you feel are keeping you from doing a job. We then quickly moved to 2 in-house locations, one of the biggest flower trading locations in the Netherlands, and that's where it really helped. At that location, for example, every day there's 4 tours of 10 people that need to visit the location to see what the work is like. And Abby now completely, fully automatically sources, screens, interviews, and schedules those groups in. If someone can't go, they can WhatsApp Abby, oh, sorry, I can't make it, and she automatically finds someone else. If the person giving the tour can't make it or is late, messages Abby, Abby messages the 10 people that are supposed to be there to either reschedule or tell them the person will be later. The way this works, I was talking about multi-agent systems. Sounds super complex, but actually it's quite easy. There's an agent operating on the career side. There's an agent in their ATS. In their specific case, this is Recruit Now. And the agent is a user of the ATS. It's not a widget, it's not a bot, it's a user of the ATS that can fill fields, move people from stage to stage, write a summary, trigger a background check. The second someone applies, Abby reaches out via WhatsApp, like you just experienced, and then people can choose voice calls or phone. Man, these are actually boring. I heard I have five minutes left, so I'll jump into the main stats. In the first month, Abby had 4,239 conversations with 2,576 applicants. So as you can see, some people came back. They forgot some stuff, or Abby needed to chase some stuff, and she does it automatically. 50% of those went through to being screened and scheduled. That's a almost doubling of the human percentage. Few other really interesting stats are that 42.3% happened after working hours. I have more information about that, but this is the one that stood out to me, the WhatsApp versus voice one. Last year I was here sharing a case from the Dutch Post, and the Dutch Post had a stat for voice calls that was completely similar to most of our customers, 20%. Everyone sat around 19, 21, 22%. 41% of the 2,576 people chose for a phone call with the AI, which says something about how much voice is improving and how easier it is. My expectation is that we are the last generation that's been doing this and this for 8 hours a day. Our grandchildren will not believe that we did stuff like type. Why didn't you just say what you needed, what you wanted? Why didn't you just think it if brain-machine interfaces really become big, which they probably will? Anyway, satisfaction score. One other one. 1.63 calls per applicant. Who thinks what that means? Who knows what that means? That means that to get a hold of someone, Abby had to, on average, reach out 1.6 times. That's also why that conversion was so much higher. The candidate didn't drop off, right? The candidate was still available. The candidate just wasn't available when you reached out or emailed or called. Abby will follow up until someone picks up. We've got a whole model there that she does 5 follow-ups, and again, fully automated. Let me go into some really cool stats. These are the hours of the day, bottom axis, and the left side axis is the volume of applications. What stands out? Most people apply just before they go to work. The other interesting thing is that a lot of people apply in the middle of the night, which is funny for white-collar workers like us. Everyone always laughs when they see that stat, but actually, you wouldn't believe the amount of people in our economy that work evening and night shifts. But we're not available for them. AI is. Same goes for the after working hours stuff. 42.3% is outside of working hours, and that's kind of rule of thumb, by the way, as well for our technology. But I think as adoption of this technology widens, it will shift. Far fewer people will want to talk about a new job while they're working during the working hours. So I think more people will start talking about it after working hours. So do people want to talk to an AI? It's a resounding yes. Again, 2,576 people, 64% give the conversation 5 out of 5 stars. 25.36% give it 4 out of 5 stars, and very few people give it a low amount. We ask them, regardless if it is a low score or a high score, if you are using candidate experience software, you can throw that out of the window, save yourself some money. The AI can just ask people what they thought of the experience. But the best thing is, it's not a survey. Again, you don't have to compromise quality versus quantity. You can have quality and quantity. Just ask people, why did you like it so much? Oh, great, we'll do more of that. Is there any way I can improve? We always ask that. If they thought it was shit, we'll ask them too. And yes, there are people that say that they don't want to talk to a fucking bot. Sucks to be you, because this is going to be the no status quo. Anyway, this is the last piece of inspiration. So good? Okay, nice. So what's Scotty going to do? Scotty, Abby. What's Abby going to do for Actiefwerk next? Support desk. I wish I thought of that myself. They came to us saying, hey, listen, we got 10,000 workers. All this hiring stuff is fun, but we get millions of questions from our workers. Can you answer them? Yeah. Will be a much bigger business case, an entire recruiting case, and save them a heck ton of time with, I forgot my shoes, or I'm sick, or this. We'll automate that. All their social media campaigns, we can integrate with any communication channel. That means also social media channels. Why not swipe up and start a conversation about your job? Why apply at all? So we're going to be integrated there. Sourcing the internal database is going to be next. So whenever a job comes in from a customer, again, this is an agency, Abby will look inside the ATS to see if she can find people and automatically reach out to them based on match scores in the ATS. Rescheduling for all the branches, that's something that hurts them a lot. They have 70 branches. They sit there waiting for, they can't come, so we want to automate rescheduling. But the last one, that's the one I want to zoom into. AI first. Branches. This was also learning for us. Like, it's incredibly hard to change the status quo from the inside. It's almost impossible. So what Actief's going to do, instead of making all these 70 branches change, they're going to start with one branch where the question is going to be, to what extent can we fully automate our value proposition? And the people working at the branch will be working there in support of the AI. Let that sink in. The AI won't be working to support them. They'll be feeding the AI with data it doesn't have, giving the AI instructions it wouldn't know. But the AI will try to run the branch. Report numbers, run all the payroll, make all the placements, reach out to customers to get more vacancies, do the sales. Everything they could automate, going to try to automate. And that's inspiring. I think that's where our industry is going. And then obviously, slowly but surely, they will turn into a technology company where they have fewer and fewer branches. And maybe in the future, with just a handful of people, they'll make 10 times the placements. I got to wrap up. I just saw some winks and waves. So you're watching me. Okay. All right, forget about all these other things. What will their people do? It's actually quite interesting. So they'll have more time to focus on business growth, more time for sales. AI isn't yet as good as that, but I'll give it 2-3 years. So it will beat the heck out of all of us in sales. That's why I'm launching a sales agent. They'll be spend more time at the customer. That is definitely worthwhile. Fewer to-dos. All these to-do activities will be automated. I think, and what's missing here, we as humans, we are still quite good at brainstorming. AI isn't good at brainstorming. Even if you put multiple agents together, collaborate together, design processes, that's what we're relevant for the next 2-3 years before AI is better as well. So to finish off, the elephants are coming. back to that elephant. It's not one, it's a big group of elephants. They're charging at us. And I found that there's two camps of people. There's one camp that's kind of looking at it like, okay, let's see what happens. And you can do that, but then the chances of the end results aligning with your desires and needs is small. And then there's another group of people. And the fact, by the way, that you're in this talk probably means that you're in that group. That's a group of people that's trying to ride these elephants, take control, chart the path to where they want to get the future they want. And I learned, actually, obviously, AI told me that those people are called mahouts. This is the IT manager of Actief Werkt, who's instructing and managing the AI. So my call to action to you guys is become like Aryan, that's his name, become a mahout, and stay relevant. So will you keep watching, or will you ride? Thank you.
Thank you, Stan. I think we all enjoyed your presentation. Just stay here.
Yeah, I can say, oh, good. Yeah,
I'm happy if you stay here because I don't know if you have read what is written in the candy. Scotty can interview 500,000 candidates in the time you can eat this bag of candy.
It's true.
Wow. From all the conversation, all the presentation, I'm very sure that we, talent acquisition experts, I say we have a bit doubts. Should we worry about our job? Or let's go back to the keynote presentation, Kevin, that we don't really have to be afraid if we are ready to go to our managers and be brave to offer new solutions. There is something in the market that can help our job, and we don't really have to be afraid that we will be replaced by something which is coming from the technology. Thank you very much. I really recommend to all of you who would like to learn more about Scotty to find Stan right at the booth, and yeah, we see each other probably in the night hours to drink some wine, and if you will be there, we can reach you out as well. Absolutely. Thank you very much. We will have...
Thanks. Thanks.